Have you ever picked up a magazine or a book or even just one of those really nice brochures and just kind of looked at it for a second? I mean, the pictures are so sharp, the colors are perfect, and every single copy looks exactly the same. It feels a little like magic, right? But it's actually this incredible feat of engineering that's been around for over 100 years. So, how do they do it? Really, how do you print literally millions of pages with that kind of quality and consistency day after day? Well, the answer is a technology that's probably responsible for more printed stuff in the world than anything else in modern history. It's called offset printing. And the key to the whole thing is right there in the name, offset. See, unlike a regular stamp where you press it directly onto the paper, the main image plate in this process never actually touches the paper. Nope. The image takes a little detour first, and that one simple step, well, that changes everything. So, how does this whole indirect printing thing work? You'd think it's some super complicated secret, but the entire massive industrial operation is built on one very, very simple principle you probably learned in elementary school. That's it. That's the secret sauce. The simple fact that oil and water just do not mix. The ink they use is oil-based, and the whole process is this brilliant, clever system designed to exploit that basic fact of science to control exactly where the ink goes. It's so elegant. It's just genius. Okay, so here's the three-step dance that happens at lightning speed. First, you have a metal plate with your image on it. It gets a wash of water, which only sticks to the parts that have no image. Then the oil-based ink is rolled on. And because oil and water don't mix, the ink totally avoids the watery parts and sticks only to your image. Step 2, that inked image is transferred or offset onto a big rubber blanket. And finally, step 3, that rubber blanket rolls onto the paper, pressing the image perfectly. So remember, plate to blanket, then blanket to paper. That's the offset. All right, so that's the theory, but what does the machine that pulls off this magic trick actually look like? Well, it's basically this amazing, coordinated symphony of super precise rollers and cylinders, and each one has a very specific job to do. So let's look at the key players. You've got the plate cylinder, which holds the master image. The dampening rollers give it that water bath, and the ink rollers apply the ink. Then the image gets passed to our all-important middleman, the rubber blanket cylinder. And finally, the impression cylinder pushes the paper up against the blanket to get that perfect, crisp print. It's a mechanical ballet, really. Now, offset printing isn't just a one-size-fits-all kind of deal. The technology has split into two main types, and it all depends on the job. Whether you're printing a few thousand fancy brochures or a whole city's daily newspaper. The two methods are called sheet-fed and web-fed. Sheet-fed is just like it sounds. It prints on individual pre-cut sheets of paper. This makes it perfect for high-quality stuff like books, posters, and those brochures we were talking about. But then you have web-fed offset. This thing is a beast. It uses these massive continuous rolls of paper. We're talking miles of it. It's the workhorse for huge jobs like newspapers and magazines where you just need insane speed and volume. So, with all this incredible engineering, why isn't everything printed this way? Well, like any technology, it has its moments to shine and moments where it's not the right tool for the job. You gotta know the pros and cons. Okay, the advantages are huge. That's why it's still king. You get just incredible razor-sharp image quality, and the color is perfect and consistent on the first copy and the millionth copy. And here's the big one. Once you're all set up, the cost per copy gets incredibly low on big jobs. Plus, it's super versatile. It can print on paper, cardboard, even some plastics. It's a real powerhouse. But here's the trade-off. All that setup, making the plates, getting the giant press ready, it costs a lot of time and money up front. That means for small jobs, it's just not worth it. If you only need 50 flyers, you're going to go with digital printing. Offset is like a giant cargo ship. It takes a while to get moving, and you can't just make a sharp turn if you need a last-minute change. And that really brings us to the big question for today, doesn't it? Offset printing has been the undisputed king of mass production for more than a century. But you've got digital printing getting better, faster, and cheaper all the time. So you have to wonder, how long can this incredible 100-year-old giant hold on to its crown in our fast-paced digital world?